We are giving away a card, and all you have to do to enter is like, comment, subscribe, and on Friday I will be picking one comment randomly and announcing it in the video. Now back to the video. Here we are in the matchup spread for Gourgeist Mega Altaria. This deck is super strong and very dominant. You could see he played against not one, not two, but four different Hydreigon, Mega Absol variants, and you see that common in every single rank match, right, on the ladder. And he did play against other Altaria variants as well, which, he only lost to one of the Hydreigons, because let's just be real, that is a very high roll situation, but
Exactly.
At the same time, consistency wins over anything else. That being said, in this variant, he won the tournament today with Training Arena and the Tech Guzma, because nobody is respecting the items, right? There's items being, poison barbs, giant capes, everything else is rocky helmets. You have to use Guzma in order to take care of everything. Gourgeist taking care of other Pokemon with 70 damage, potentially 80 with Training Arena, so Mega Altaria could come in and clean house. If you want to move to the decks and you want to talk any more about the deck, feel free.
No, I was going to say we had the deck list pulled up there that whole time while you were going over it. I like it. I guess kind of to elaborate on what I was sort of talking about a few minutes ago, where you have options with this deck. You have multiple lines. You either start, hopefully with your Chinglings, I would imagine, just to kind of give you a Chingling wall, but then you can either go into your Pumpkaboo route or your Jirachi route, right? Where you can either start sniping things on the bench, open up those Cyrus plays, or again, you just go face with Gourgeist. Gourgeist only takes that one energy. So you're smacking for 70. If you go first, it's almost a double positive for this deck, where you have Chingling. So if you can get Chingling in the active and then set your Pumpkaboo out there, the following turn you're attacking with Gourgeist, and you still ran down the Chingling lock on that turn one. Which is what we kind of saw happen with King Solomon in that last game there. He was able to hold the Chingling lock until he needed it, essentially. He had everything basically ready to go on his end, then he let go of the Chingling lock and dropped a Mars as well, which, brings him down to one card. That is one of my favorite plays to do in pocket, is run double Chingling and force them to go through your Chinglings, then hit them with a Mars and drop them down to one card. Essentially, you lock them in there, right? Yep. Either way, this deck was insane. It blew past my expectations today, and again, I think we're gonna have to do some swap up in ranked. I might be playing some Gourgeist going forward.
The other deck I do want to look at is PC Suelo, the Greninja, Suninja. So while you pull that up, right? The matches
got it up
here are
let's take a look at the matches first, though.
You want to take this one over, or
no? Go for it. If you want to go for the matches, I was gonna say I'm kind of just clicking through everything that you're narrating. So if you narrate it, we're looking at it.
Fine. The matches are insane, because we have here a bunch of Altaria variants that he ended up winning against. Ended up tying with King Solomon, that won the match to go into top 32. And that being said, it defeated Darktina, it defeated Hydreigon Mega Absol, and 3 different variants of technically 2 different variants of Altaria, which is a consistent deck, right? It even beat its worst matchup, which was an Oricorio Magnezone. The deck is really strong. It pops off. It also beat Decidueye, which Decidueye is notorious for farming this deck.
I was just about to say.
One thing. Exactly, right? So that's what I'm saying. People got to put respect on this deck's name, because this deck is amazing. It's still strong and relevant for the metagame. And, if you are trying to play this in the tournament, in rank, it's definitely a respectable deck. And, the deck list that they have here, right? They're running the Irida, also running the Guzma. So the common theme of today is Guzma is finally back. I know you're happy to hear that, right?
Yeah, bro, that Guzma being back in this deck, and that's, I think, what you're saying here is absolutely right. This Guzma was like what clutched up and allowed them to go as far as they did. I think like multiple games we saw them Guzma away either poison barbs or I think even like a cape or something. Either way, point being, Guzma definitely being back at this point. Being able to get rid of poison barbs, especially against your probably worst matchup being Hydreigon Absol, I think is a huge advantage. In fact, if you can't get rid of those poison barbs, that's sometimes generally what's going to cause you to lose the game, right? Is that poison damage. So yeah, I can't believe it took this long, but Guzma's back, baby.
I know, right? And to be more frank about this deck list too, we are playing double Greninja EX and one Greninja. Like, Greninja EX aggro does really well into the Hydreigon and into the Altaria versus just getting 20 pings here and there. Just like that shifting stream helps you turn in that Suicune into a wall where you're drawing cards and then just swap it in and out at will, and then just deal consistent 100 damage without, you know, needing to have your board filled, right? So you have access to that. And double Cyrus is, you know, it worked out for him in this tournament. And I think, you know, I've been seeing the rise of Greninja EX. Shout out to Sek. He's been playing this deck on his channel, and you know, the deck has been performing for him. I've been seeing double Greninja EX pop up, and yeah, no, in the future I could definitely see this seeing a lot more play, and I would recommend you guys play this.
That's one thing that I've been doing myself too, is the double Greninja EX as opposed to double Ping Greninja. It gives you just a little more stability as far as having like more HP throughout the team. That, and it gets you set up with those free retreats even faster, which again is kind of big in this current meta where everybody's doing a lot of damage really fast, and you still want the draw effect from Suicune, but you don't want it to get KO'd. So being able to bounce things around and shift things around with Greninja, super helpful. I do think, again, Suicune Greninja not going anywhere anytime soon, and it continues to, the playstyle continues to evolve. Even if it looks like the deck list doesn't evolve, the playstyle drastically evolves with each new set. So I don't know. I last season I was really hating on Suicune Greninja, but then this season farming ranked a little harder. I kind of have like fallen into liking Suicune Greninja. It's not, it's still pretty toxic, but I don't hate it as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I guess going back to the standings here, though, anything else you're looking at or anything else that caught your eye? I know like this Greenfra.
Jumpluff.
Ooh, yeah.
That Jumpluff Meowth. You gotta talk about that real quick.
Insane that it ended in 18th place, considering how hype of a deck this was. I feel like if it wasn't Nunno, 7 Earless probably would have gone on a spree, right? Nunno just being an excellent player, and really he had to buckle down to beat this deck. And they even came into chat afterwards and said, yo, what was that deck? That was crazy. He had to lock in to be able to beat that. And I don't blame him. Like, there's a lot to it that just like is scary and hard to deal with. I do have the deck list pulled up for everybody at home, but we're looking at, so double Meowth, double Oricorio, only a single Hoppip, and we'll get to that in just a sec, and then double Jumpluff, right? But you look at the rest of the supporters here. We got the double Lycia, and that's why I suppose we only run the one Hoppip. As soon as we pull a Lycia, we're good. We got it. So there's that, or you draw into it naturally, right? There's no Pokeballs here either, I just realized.
Right. And it has so much synergy, and it just works. We saw it, right? Why do you need Pokeballs while you have Meowth drawing you cards?
There's just so much card draw that's working for your advantage.
Lycia is your Pokeball, basically.
Lycia being your Pokeball. The Protective Poncho also keeping either your Oricorio or the Jumpluff safe on the bench. The double Mars was kind of a surprise to me. That was something I didn't notice until later. I'm almost wondering if we could sacrifice a Mars, or if it's like, hey, your card your hand disruption is that crucial. But again, it feels like we could probably sacrifice a Mars for, I don't know, a cape, some healing. Something feels like it would maybe help. Oh, X-Speed, maybe, right? Like an X-Speed early on might be able to really help this deck be able to get going. There is that awkward start where you kind of have to attack twice with Jumpluff, or at least set the Jumpluff free retreat out to gain an extra energy there. But either way, I don't know. I feel like there's some wiggle room still for this deck, but the way it can stop damage and just be an annoyance and like make it so you really can't attack into it very well, yeah, was crazy to see happen. Suicune Greninja. Yes, go ahead.
It be like 2 Hydreigons, right?
Yeah,
and that's pretty good because it's grass and it's doing so much damage. And it beat Suicune Greninja in the bracket as well. So, you know, those are noticeable decks that you see commonly. So this deck is looking like it can hang.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to say, we saw it completely trash a Hydreigon deck. It's getting type advantage into Hydreigon, so that's, I think, huge for it. The ability to also stop, like, Suicune Greninja attacks with Oricorio is kind of crazy. I think, again, Nuno just piloted the deck expertly. Either way, he did very well into it and was able to kind of predict how this deck was going to go. But I feel like if you were to play this right now in ranked, you would catch so many people off guard and like and probably win the game just because they wouldn't know what to expect or where to attack. Either way, yeah, definitely highlight of the tournament tonight, I would say, is this deck. Big shout out to 7 Earless. I can't wait to go try this myself.
No, for sure. There are 2 more decks I just want to look at. There's 8th place. We got Mimikyu Greninja. So this deck right here is the sauce.
Yes.
Like
it's the Pod Squad
Mimikyu
deck
is insane. The Pod Squad deck.
So Eric, do you like the 1 Giratina choice or do you prefer double Giratina? I think I was listening to Sec talk about it the other day and he was saying you need double Giratina.
Yeah,
But
you do. I feel like the double Giratina is like needed. The reason being is you definitely want that on the board. You want that first turn charge. That's where you really see your value from Giratina. I'm sure the Chinglings are like annoying, so they have the Frogadier there just to like get the evolution, but at the same time, you know, Plaza's there to help you out. You know, I still feel like the Giratina and Sableye added into this deck is really pretty good. It just does so much, averages good win rates and everything like that. It just depends on really like on the game, on the type of day, on rank, you know. But that being said, like it's pretty strong. You see, ever since it popped off at Mad's tournament, the deck has been seeing play. Different variations of the deck has been seeing play. Our variation, it's just like the Mimikyu is so strong, and you know, today it's beaten like what do you call it? Suicune. It's been beaten Gourgeist, Altaria, which that was one of the decks that we were talking about. Blaziken. Like the deck is like so nasty. It pops off.
Real quick, I want to take maybe just a quick glance at this one. Greenfra, playing Leafeon, Teal Mask, Ogerpon.
Yeah. That's
going
right.
7-2. Let's see. What did they lose to? So they lost to a Hydreigon, surprisingly enough, which usually you think this deck would do pretty well into it, but we all know Hydreigon.
I think that was a high roll mode.
Exactly. I was going to say they got high rolled. But moving on here, it looks like they were able to beat basically everything else up into top 8. They lost to Sammy Jammer, Mega Altaria, but still kind of it's crazy that they beat a Blaziken EX. Let's take a look at the deck list real quick here and see. So it's double Leafeon, double Teal Mask, Ogerpon, and then 1 Leafeon Junior, or the 1 prize pointer. That, what is it? So it does 90 damage, but you can attack on your next turn. Either way, you can retreat out and kind of set that up, I guess. But either way, this deck, I've played it myself, and it feels like it just takes too much going right. Like it's good when it's really good when it lines up, but there's a lot of things that you need at the beginning of games for it to be consistent, right? Like you've got to have your Eevee, you've got to have a Leafeon, you've got to have an Ogerpon, you've got to have a Leaf Cape, and then you can kind of start to cook. But like if you don't get that combination, it's hard. I feel like it's hard to catch up. But that being said, if you do get that, again, it's going to decimate most Hydreigon decks just due to the fact that you have type advantage. With Leaf Cape, you'll put yourself outside of KO range. So again, you can kind of set yourself up for good counterattacks, things like that. But either way, it just, I don't know. It's very hit or miss. I can kind of see why it hasn't really won a tournament or placed very high, or why it doesn't have a whole lot of the metagame playing behind it, just due to the fact that it is somewhat inconsistent, I felt like.
Yeah, but like somehow it always makes its place into like top cut, right? No matter what tournament, even the tournament that Matt's had with like 600 people, it made top 16 or top 8. Like that's insane.
Again, I was going to go through and check the matches here to see what it was winning against. I was going to say, oh yeah, it probably just tore through a whole bunch of Hydreigon. It played one Hydreigon and it lost to it, so maybe not that.
But it beat a Suicune.
But it beat a Suicune. Hey, and a Blaziken. The Blaziken really blows my mind. Yeah, and the Gourgeist. Like all of those blow my mind considering these are like super fast decks.
Steelix is kind of crazy too because like what damage do you do if you're dealing 70 almost every turn?
Right? And then you like get one shot by a Steelix when that comes out.
I feel like this is a Psyop deck, but you know what?
It is.
If it works, it works.
Yep, exactly. Get your easy points out of ranked while you can, but don't expect much out of it. Let's see. Anything else going down the list here? There's a couple surprising ones. You know, there's a Venusaur, Charizard. Love to see those.
No, I think it's pretty solid. We could pull up the Charizard real quick.
I'm curious. Yeah, let's take a look at the Charizard. So this is
love Charizard.
Pika Iced Tea, or as I was pronouncing it wrong last week and saying Picalcitia. Bro, that just took me way too long to realize this is Pika Iced Tea. But either way, they are running. Interesting. Okay, so they are running one Charizard Junior and then one Mega Charizard.
I think that's the new wave.
It is the new wave, and I've seen people actually just forego even putting the one prize point Charizard in the deck at all, and you just run one Mega Charizard double Entei, and kind of go like that. Again, you're just going with Entei's draw ability, and the fact that you have double May, you'll almost guaranteed kind of get the setup that you want. That's how I play it. I like this. This is one of my favorite decks of the season, is Megazard Entei. I've actually included a poncho on my Megazard, so I can't get like ponchoed out and stuff. And I'm liking that tech. Good. Yeah. But they included a repel here, and it's
for the Moris.
Two different trains of thought, I suppose, right? You either repel those Oris away, or you are like repel stalling early game. Same with Sabrina. You just keep repelling and Sabrina-ing them and forcing them to have to put energy in to retreat back into what they want to attack with. But I'm a big fan of this deck in the sense that if you start with Entei, like say you're going first, you start with Entei in the active, you have a Charmander on the bench. If you can hit that Charmeleon, boom, you're doing 60 damage. And it's just a really easy setup to do 60 damage on one of the best tanks in the game, right? It's a basic 140 HP, draws cards, does 60 damage, can go up to 120 damage. It works well with Charizard. It's just a great starter for this Charizard deck, and again, to work with Charmeleon. So I'm a big fan of this deck. I just feel like it gets beat out by Hydreigon so often that it sucks, right? That's why it sucks.
Oh, no, for sure.
Dude, I'm glad I got to hang out with you. Glad we got to watch some games. We'll definitely have to do this again